All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our class. This is our second class, right? So I hope you had a good morning. Most of you, when you came in, it was really bright and shiny and hot, and it's raining right now, right? So, but that is our weather. It changes every time. So, if I remember so well, in our last class, we tried to understand the meaning of teaching for meaningful learning, right? And we also try to develop a relationship with amongst ourselves, that rapport that we need to push us through this course. And we also went through our learning expectations, the course expectations, whatever you expected to do as students and myself as your instructor. And lastly, I think we talked about the learning contract, what binds us together and makes our work easier. And I asked you to read through and give me some feedback. Do you have any feedback for me? Like, did you find anything that you think we could change? Or what did you think?
Well, I thought it was really good.
Good?
Yeah.
Everyone is okay with what we have in the course syllabus?
Yeah.
Great. So we can really pick it up from there. So, something I needed to share with you, as I was coming in earlier, like this morning, I stumbled on the news that teenagers in South Africa had built actually a helicopter. Which helicopter they were flying from Johannesburg to Cairo. And I thought this was something great, tying into what we are actually learning about, making learning very, very meaningful through the student. Did anyone see something like that? Great. So yeah, it is trending, and I know you guys are good with social media, Instagram and so on, right? So if you haven't seen it, look at it. This is where students in their physics class have actually developed something tangible. Most of the stuff we are going to talk about today. So the other thing, I have a quote here, very, very quickly. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. Who said that? Anyone remembers the guy who may have said that? Benjamin Franklin, right on. Yeah, thank you. That is the guy. But when I look at these lines, where do you find yourself as a learner?
The last one.
The last one? So involve you and you learn. That is exactly what this is all about. How to teach for meaningful learning. Having everybody involved, right? So, and we're going to test it out today. So, if we can do this very, very quickly. So today, we want to look at authentic learning, right? Authentic learning. So, this is not rocket science. It is what you and I do every day. It is real life learning. It's learning that gives a student the opportunity to create something tangible that they can share with their world, right? Being able to teach something and it makes sense to the other person because it ties into what they know on a daily basis, right? So, and we are going to test it out ourselves. So, but before that, I want to tell you a quick story that still ties into this. There was a teacher, Miss Jane. She was teaching introduction to farming. And she, among the many students she had, there was Kim, who had an idea of bringing 10 rabbits such that they could start a school project, a class project of rearing these rabbits. And unfortunately, Miss Jane dismissed this idea, saying it would be destructive to students. What do you think about that? What is your take on that?
Well, it seems like the teacher was more interested in the textbook way of learning.
Oh, yeah, the teacher was more interested in the textbook way of learning, right? Yeah, because this student, their context and their experience with farming it rotated around the rabbits, and that was real for her or him. But Miss Jane dismissed that idea. So as teachers, we have to really bring in the context of students and making learning, and then we start making learning real to them, right? So now, for them to be, for us to be able to teach something and our students understand, it has to be real to what they know already. It has to be real to the environment, right? So let's try this out, like in pairs, in small groups of two. Let's try to teach one another something. Think about something and teach one another, right? So in a minute, let's do that, okay?
So, I usually follow a good time for me to learn, but in order to do a good time, I have to really not care about what others think about me. So I have to think of what I like and what will make me happy.
All right, good. I know that discussion is the disc is heating up, and we can come back to that later. So everybody has learned from the other. But whoever was taught, did you understand? Was it related to what you understand? If your world is music, and I used a song to really tell you what I wanted to tell you, would you understand that better? Right? If it was the game of say soccer, and I related it to soccer players, would you understand that better? Right? So yeah, that was really great. So let's try to wind this up by trying to understand a few elements of authentic learning. So one of those should be real life contexts. We've talked about that, right? We also talked about something. Yeah, we talked about creating a tangible what? A tangible product, right? So, in other words, like if I want, say, a paper to be written, I shouldn't mind if you sang that paper in form of music, right? Because that's what works for you. That's what you can relate to. That's what is real, right? So there are so many elements you can find, 12 of them as really laid out in the handout that you have. Feel free to ask me questions whenever you have them. So, do we have any questions?
So what you're saying is that we can use outside sources instead of the stuff that you've taught us, right? To be able to hand in assignments. We can,
Yes. Yeah.
we can sing, we can act.
Very, very true. Like in this course, feel free to think out of the box, right? It is being creative. Whatever makes meaning to you as a student, you are free to use that, right? So, as I finish this up, so I want you to tell me your takeaways. What are you taking out from this class? Just one thing you're taking away. One thing. What are you taking out?
Well, I'm learning to be authentic.
You're learning to be authentic. Spencer, what are you taking away?
Learning how to teach better and how to learn.
Very, very good. Learning how to teach better and how to learn. Carol, what are you taking away?
To teach, to be more using real life context rather than theoretical context.
Teaching using real life context, examples, rather than theoretical stuff. Natalie, what are you taking away?
Well, I've learned that I should be able to give my students permission to use all the sources to project their
Very, very, very good. Thank you for sharing that. So, indeed, what we are taking away to, this afternoon is that all the learning we do should always result into a tangible product. It should relate to the community. It should make sense to you. It should be real, right? It should be something you can share, right? So thank you for coming. I look forward to seeing you in another class.